Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to thank you all for coming today. We're very appreciative of your support, your coverage of Monmouth football as we go into our 21st season here in 2013. And it'll be quite a unique year. For the first time since 1996, we won't be competing in the Northeast Conference, and we'll be competing as an independent this year. And that's going to give us really great opportunities to play a challenging schedule, to play a lot of different places. And we'll be playing actually 5 different conferences throughout the country this year. We're playing the Big Sky Conference, the Big South, the Patriot League, the Ivy League, and of course some teams from the Northeast Conference. But again, I appreciate you attending today. First of all, I just want to say that this was our first day of full contact practice. It's our 5th day overall, and I'm very pleased with the way things are going up to this point. I feel very good about the way our team reported to camp, and by that I mean they reported in an excellent physical condition. It left no doubt in my mind that they prepared extremely hard this summer to get ready for this season. Through the first 5 practices, and again there the NCAA mandates how you practice through the first 5 days. It's called the acclimatization period, something that came into being maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. The first 2 days you can only wear helmets. Days 3 and 4 you can wear helmets and shoulder pads, and then day 5 you can put on full pads. But through the first 5, I've seen steady growth and development, and I think our older players, our veteran players, our players in position of leadership have done a great job of kind of setting the tone for the tempo that we want to have at practice. I thought we were excellent out there today in terms of how we moved around, how we got periods going, and the number of plays we were able to get within each one of those periods. So now that we're in full pads, it'll be pretty much every day we'll have some full padded live work, maybe not totally devoted to a scrimmage, but there will be live work every day. And it'll be an opportunity for all of our guys to not only continue to improve, but also to showcase their abilities and in many cases earn positions in the starting lineups. I think what we've seen over the first 20 years is steady growth and in periods of growth. It seems like it's gone in 5-year periods, and where we were non-scholarship for 5 years, and in year 6 we joined the NEC and went through that and won 3 of the last 4 championships in that. Well, not the last 4, but 3 of the first 4 in that league. And then we went to scholarship football, late 90s, early 2000s, but on a limited basis. It was need-based, and you saw then that we were able to upgrade the schedule and put the Patriot League teams on. And well, we may have leveled off in terms of record there. We really raised the bar in terms of the level of competition that we were playing in. I think from 2000 to 2006, you saw this big push, and in 2006 was a tremendous year where we went 10-1, played in a postseason game. Then starting in 2007, we actually went to outright scholarships that weren't need-based anymore, and they were on a limited basis within the NEC's maximums, but that allowed us to step up yet again. And then you saw many members of the Colonial Athletic Association coming on the schedule in 2007 when we picked up Delaware. That was their national championship year. We picked up University of Maine. We picked up Colgate, who had won the championship in 2005. And we started scheduling several of those type teams, and that was another step. And we gradually caught up to that, and now we're going into the era of fully funded scholarship football. And within a 3-year period of time from now, we'll be at the maximum. Our expectation is you voiced in our hope is that we're going to be playing an FBS opponent within the next 2 years, 2013 or 14 or 15, as we get to the maximum number of scholarships. And that's something that we're looking forward to, and we're actively pursuing scheduling opportunities with that right now. As we move forward in the Big South Conference, not only will we have obviously the Big South Conference games, but we're going to continue to schedule games against the Patriot League, which is now a fully funded league, the Colonial Athletic Association teams, which we kind of play already, and some of the Ivy League teams as well. So although we will be a Big South member, our schedule will have a heavy Northeast component or Central Atlantic Northeast component to it. Well, I think what I've seen from this team, and Kevin, this goes back starting in the winter and throughout the spring, and they're not we're not taking the position that, well, because we don't have a conference and we don't have a lot of home games, that is in any way an excuse. We do have a challenging schedule. You know, we're playing 4 ranked teams in the FCS latest poll. You know, Montana State's number 2, Lehigh comes in at 17, Wagner at 26, and Liberty's at 30, I believe. So it's going to be a challenging schedule, but we're excited about that. And I think these guys are as well. Back in the spring, we had a meeting when I announced the schedule to the guys, and you know, we looked at not only who we were going to be playing, but where we were going to play, and what those games, you know, what significance they had in terms of the direction of the program. You know, back in 1993, there was a group of guys that were the kind of the pioneers of Monmouth football, and you know, were the guys that got in on the ground floor and created the foundation for the program and played in the first ever games. And I think one of the things that this group represents is they're the pioneers of the new level of Monmouth football, the level of fully funded football, the level of playing on the national stage, the level of playing nationally ranked opponents frequently throughout the season, and I think we're excited about that. You know, throw out there is, you know, just to let everyone know how excited we are about the new facility. You know, getting approval from West Long Branch a week or so ago, I think is a great thing. It's, you know, we're very happy about it, very excited. You know, true, it's long overdue, but to see this moving forward, I think is a great thing, and it's going to parallel the movement of the program going forward. You know, this initial stage of the renovation to, you know, the football stadium it's a great start, it's a great beginning, and I think it's just going to generate momentum for the other phases that hopefully will come very soon afterwards. But I think it's a great indication of the direction of what we're doing and where we're going. Right. Anything else?
All right, that's everything. Guys, stick around because there's some individual.
Well, as all of you know, going into this season or going into the spring of 2013 was the first time that we did not really have an incumbent quarterback in a number of years. So there was going to be an all-out competition from day one. Going through the spring practice period, through those 14 practices in a spring game, you know, we really felt that, well, everybody improved and everybody got better. No one really of the 4 guys that we had with us separated themselves from each other enough that we could say this guy is 100% definitely our starter heading into the summer. You know, Brandon contacted us at the end of the academic year in the spring and expressed an interest to transfer. We knew of him and about him from high school. He's from Audubon, New Jersey here, so we know of him. He's former coach up at University of Massachusetts, is a very close friend of mine, and we had some conversations, and we felt that, you know, Brandon was looking for an opportunity. We didn't have an incumbent quarterback who would establish himself as the clear-cut starter in April. And you know, Brandon had started a season of football at the University of Massachusetts and played for them back in 2011. So we felt it would be a good opportunity for Brandon to come in and compete with our 4 quarterbacks on our roster for this position. It would be a good opportunity for us to throw another person into the mix. More attractive, both for the reason that you mentioned, Steve, the Big South, the bigger conference, but also we have, and will continue to have, more scholarships available. Where in the past, I mean, many of our scholarships were partials. They weren't full because we weren't even at the Northeast Conference limit this last year. And so we had to spread those around as much as we could. And a player who's transferring down from a school where he has a full scholarship isn't going to really give you a high level of interest if you can't give him what he already has. So I think now that we have that and are moving more in that direction, we will have more opportunities to possibly see this happen. And Jeremy, just as a follow-up to that, there's no question that only 4 out of 12 games at home is a bit unusual, and it came about in a fairly unique way. I mean, part of it was the fact that we were leaving the NEC and joining the new conference, and in order to establish some games where we will get return home games in future years, it was necessary to go out and play those games on the road this year. Not necessary, but there were some opponents that we like to have on our schedule. For instance, Holy Cross, that will return the game here down the road. Columbia will return the game down the road. We'll enter into a fairly long-term agreement with Wagner, probably the only NEC team that we'll have any type of long-term relationship with just because of proximity. They were in a much similar situation that we were, and that they only had 4 home games, and so between Coach Hammond and myself, we worked it out that we would go there this year to make the 40-minute trip, and we'll get a home game on top of that down the line a little bit. Liberty was a game that was scheduled before we went into the Big South Conference, and doesn't count as a Monmouth Conference game. That's a guarantee game, as is the Montana State game. So I mean, it'll all balance out down the line. And then really the other teams on our schedule, some of the NEC teams, in order to round out our schedule and make sure that we had the full complement, and we wanted to get 12, we had to go play those teams at their places.